Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. I know you have been really exhausted for the whole day, and now it comes to the last session before the closing speech. And this session will be extremely thought-provoking and exciting, as we are going to discuss when China will establish a proper law system. For this afternoon, we are glad to have 6 professors in this area to discuss this question. Firstly, I'd like to welcome Professor Tim Murphy, Professor of Law at LSE, then Professor Chen Youxi, Chairman and Director, Capital Equity Legal Group, and Professor He Meifang, Professor of Law, Peking University, Professor Jacques Delay, Director, Center for East Asia Studies, University of Pennsylvania, Dr. Zheng, Senior Lecturer of Law LSE, and Professor Yu Jianrong, Head of the Rural Development Institute of the Chinese Academy of the Social Science. So without further ado, I will pass it to Professor Tim. Professor Tim, thank you.
Thank you. So we have a lot of speakers and an even bigger panel. And there are a lot of issues that I'm sure most of you are aware of that are kind of wrapped together under this rather anodyne heading, legal reform. Questions of law and lawmaking, and of course in a country like China, at what level a particular law is going to be made. I mean, a lot of complexity about that. Question to do with lawyers, the training of lawyers, the practice of lawyers, the organization of lawyers, and the independence of lawyers. These are all important questions. The question of judges, again, the same issues, training, practice, organization, independence. From a Western point of view, for example, the phenomenon of the party secretary in a judicial body is, shall we say, surprising or unusual. But if one is thinking about the organization of the judiciary in China, then obviously one has to ask, well, what is the role of the party secretary? And what is that telling us about the way the system works? What is it telling us about, perhaps, the independence of the judiciary in China? These, at least, are obvious questions to Westerners, and possibly questions, when we talk about legal reform, questions which will be on the table for the future in China. Anyway, we have a large panel, and it's the end of the day, and I'm sure many of you are by now very tired, but somehow we need to re-energize and focus on this important topic of legal reform. Our first speaker is Professor He Meifang, who's going to talk about the quest for judicial independence in China. So can we welcome him now?
Thank you. 非常高兴今天第2次上台，那么时间也非常紧张，我发现真的是那么多的很好的学者来讨论问题，但是大家的时间都特别的有限。那么我非常简要的跟大家讲一下子中国的司法改革以及司法独立。那么35年前我进入中国的法学院学习法律，那个时候中国没有法律，我学的这个专业太独特了，所以在整个读大学期间，我们基本上是处在一个学习西方的法律的这样的一个状态，所以我们基本上就没有到英国，也算是在英国留学的那个感觉，那么后来中国有了很多的法律，那么刑法、民法。这个各种各样的这个诉讼程序法，但是到了1990年代的时候，大家感觉到中国有很多的法律，但是中国法律没有得到很好的实施， 那么有许多人就觉得我们必须要进行司法改革，在法院这个系统内部，在整个的法律职业界中间，努力的追求把法律给落到实处去。那么这个时候，中国就开始了整个的司法改革。司法改革之所以吸引那么多的人注意，部分的意义还来自于当中国的政治制度很难发生变化的时候，有许多人把司法改革作为一种政治体制改革的一个突破口，或者说一个风险不大但是收益很多的一个通道一个途径。那么如果我们不变革政治制度，比方说中国共产党的领导，比方说这个人民代表大会这样的一个非常怪异的议会，那么新闻自由这些都没有，但是我们努力的推动一个公正的司法制度的变革，那么这样的一种可能性就是会改变中国的政治生态，会让人们觉得我们政治方面越来越依赖于司法体系，而不是依赖于政党，依赖于其他的方面。我想这样的一个想法导致了后来的一系列的司法改革，比方说我们确立了法官的选任制度的提高。在13年前，中国确立了一个 National Bar Examination 的这样的一种制度，全国统一司法考试制度。所以在中国，现在要做法官、做检察官、做律师3种职业都必须通过一个非常严格的考试。这个考试要求报名的人都必须是大学本科的毕业。每一个法官、检察官都需要通过这个考试，除了法院院长和检察院检察长可以不通过。所以我们有许多外行的法院院长和外行的检察院检察长。但是不管怎么说，这样的一个改变提升了中国的法官的整体的素质和中国法律职业的整体素质。那么接下来第2个方面的改革，我们努力的推动法院的内部的权力关系的变化。核心是要追求法官个人的独立性，减少法院内部对法官的干预。比方说，法院院长他不可以说直接干预法官的个人的如何判决案件，但这方面我要老实告诉大家，没什么成果。那么第3个改革是司法权力的行使方式发生了变化。那么英国的所谓 adversary system 这个对抗制的审判模式被越来越多的中国人所重视，大家觉得应该让法官变得更加消极，让律师和检察官变得更加积极，在法庭上相互冲突，那么使得纠纷能够得到更好的解决。这方面呢，也包括整个的法院在这跟政党之间的关系，让法院不要过多的去做一个不断的回应政党的要求，而是法院要坚持自己的某种消极性和中立性。也有一些进展。那么接下来人们提出来了所谓法律职业共同体这样的概念 ，legal community。这样的一种概念要求法官、检察官、律师大家分享同样的理想，分享同样的法律的知识、法律的技术以及法律的伦理。那么让法官更好地理解律师为什么会这样做事情，而不是那样做。那么统一司法考试制度其实也有助于这方面的一个改变。所有这些改变，其实当然还包括财政制度、法院的财政制度、法院的人事制度是否能够更好地去让法院能够独立。所有这些方面的改革，在10年前，大约应该是在8年前，在中国看起来就走不下去了。中国共产党也许越来越理解了这样的改革最终是要损害，或者说最终要走出让中国共产党变得对司法没有办法控制，让人民更多的相信司法，而不是相信共产党或者共党这样的一个结局。这个是可能所以在2004年的时候，中国共产党提出来了一个概念，叫社会主义法治理念。社会主义法治理念，我们以前都叫现代司法理念、现代法治理念。后来胡锦涛要求说，必须要讲社会主义法治理念。社会主义法治理念很奇怪，要求判决案件必须公正，但是同时要求判决案件必须服从党的领导。那么这样的一个 rule of law under Communist Party 这样的一种状态下边，我们感觉到走向了一个困境。所以这是为什么过去的8年间，中国的司法改革完全走到一个死路上去了，我们走不动了。 所以今天我想，我不想展开来谈很多的问题，但是我只是想说，看起来中国的政治体制，不进行更深刻的变革，单纯从现在的技术层面来去推动司法改革，看起来有相当大的一个困难。包括比方说，我们有一些举世瞩目的案件，这样的一个审判完全是不公正的审判。比方说有一个英国人叫 Neil Heywood。被中国的一个律师给杀了。中国这个律师，当然我们也不知道他到底是不是中国人，因为他的名字很奇怪。然后这个律师的儿子在英国曾经学习过。那Heywood的这个死亡导致的一系列的审判，在我看来是完全没有办法去揭示案件事实的真相。一个法庭之所以存在，之所以有价值，是因为它能够揭示案件事实真相。与此同时，还有另外一个方面，法官对法律的解释必须是非常专业化的，非常认真地考虑到，比方说在普通法世界里边，一个法官判决案件是如何引用司法的先例，如何遵循这样的先例，受到先例的制约束，如何进行一个所谓的 legal reasoning argument， 所有的这些东西在中国的司法现在看起来都没有。所以司法存在着一个特别大的随意性，在案件事实的揭示方面没有揭示事实，经常是歪曲事实。在证人出庭作证方面，我们的证人在刑事案件中，证人实际出庭占应当出庭的比例不到5%。对于我想我们的熟悉普通法的程序来说，这意味着什么？你们可以想象得到。那么在法律解释方面，没有一个非常良好的法律解释的机制约束法官，所以导致我们的法院判决案件现在是非常的，你谁没有办法想象一个案件怎么去判决？比方说，我请陈有希律师当我的律师，我说陈律师，我能被判死刑吗？陈律师说，按照法律规定，你不可以被判死刑。但是我刚刚要高兴，他赶快跟我说，但是按照咱们国家判案的不完全依照法律，因为经常依照人民的感觉来判不判死刑，所以我就知道我坏了，人民群众很愤怒，我就死掉了。所以现在这个情况真正是让我们感到非常的忧虑。当然普遍的忧虑，现在包括共产党的高层，其实他们也忧虑。所以现在我想。真正走到了一个变革的契机，我只是想把这样的一种困难和机会来稍微向大家展现一下的。好，谢谢大家。
Thank you very much. Our next speaker is Mr. Chen Yoshi, who will talk about the relationship between the court and the government in China. And I think we have slides.
非常感谢，给我的15分钟时间，我想用1分钟介绍一位人物，是在座各位的前师兄或者师长啊。刚才陆克宏总理来了，那么我们现在介绍一位总理的老师。这位龚祥瑞先生，1935年8月份在这里读书，读了2年，回到中国，为国民政府服务。49年以后为中华人民共和国政府服务，2个政府。他呢现在是在我们中国已经去世的一个非常有名的西方宪法的学家，对这个学校非常有感情。他现在的刚刚我给莫菲教授赠了他的一本著作，就是《盲人奥利翁》。那么他现在的学生是国务院副总理李克强，以及跟贺卫方教授一起的同事陈新良教授和行政法学家江明爱教授。所以希望在座的同学们将来也会成为你的前师长一样有出息的人。这时候我就花简短的几句话介绍一下这位，大家有兴趣可以读读他的这本书。刚刚我想搞了一个证书仪式。下面我开始我的演讲的内容。我讲的一个是中国现在的法院和政府的关系。 这个题目非常大，可以讲2、3个小时。但是我用短短的10来分钟，先讲一个案例。我在上个月在中国的南方，靠近澳门的地方叫珠海，办理了一个案子。这个民营企业家有11万亩的海面，养的东西就是这个照片上的叫沙哥，贝类的动物。当时政府因为这块海面上面污染比较厉害，滥捕滥捞比较厉害，资源枯竭，所以用很便宜的价格把这个11万亩海面承包给了一个民营企业家。经过他10年的养殖，这个海面增值了。当时50来万一年，11万亩。那么现在政府要进行填沙，叫填海造田，政府要进行养殖，政府要采沙，在这里面要向他这里回赠，所以11万亩里面回赠了1万多亩，政府就要付几千万的钱。所以旁边周边的渔民也觉得这个11万亩的海亩现在越来越有值钱了，想要拿回去。那么在这样的情况下面，按照正常法治健全的国家，就应该订立合同或者政府回购。但是我们当地的政府不是这样，他采取了叫打黑，把这个企业家作为一个黑社会犯罪，起诉了9个罪名。如果这个罪名成立的话，他可以将他起码判到无期徒刑，就终身监禁，也有可能判到死刑，因为中国的黑社会犯罪是有死刑的。然后按照中国的法律，可以把他所有的财产10个多亿全部没收。所以在中国的民营企业家在这样的一种司法体制下面，非常的不安全。所以打黑扩大化就非常危险。所以上个月我为这个企业家，一共企业里面14个人全部抓起来了，我是为第一被告做无罪辩护。9个罪名里面2个给我无罪辩护成功，一个黑社会不成立，第2个采沙的时候指控他非法采矿罪不成立，2个不成立以后还有7个罪名判了他18年，财产没有被没收，没收了3400万罚金。那么这个就看得出是，如果一个国家里面司法是不独立的，政府是听命于法院是听命于政府的，那么一个公民的权利和其他经济组织、企业的权利是无法得到保障的。所以，一个政府在法治健全的国家，它应该是公共管理的职能。像亚当·斯密讲，他是一个守夜人，他不应该是一个利益相关者。但是在中国，我们的政府很多，它本身就是一个大公司。政府它占有的资源有许可权，有矿山的权利、森林的权利、大海的权利、土地的权利。在公有制的环境下面，我们政府通过出让土地、出让矿山，它是一个利益相关方。在计划经济的时候，普天之下莫非王土，全部是公有制的，政府就代表全部的国民财富。在市场经济的环境下面，我们的财富把它一个一个的个性化了，允许私营企业，允许个体工商户，允许企业与企业之间的竞争。那么政府如果也是一个超脱的公共管理的职能，它就不应该是一个运动员，它是一个超脱的裁判员。在市场经济的环境下面，政府自己变成了一个追求利益的主体。所以在我们出让土地的时候，原来耕者有其田，土地收归国有的时候是免费向农民收回来的。我们革命的时候答应农民是土地私有化分给农民的，在我们中国大陆只私有化了2年，我们就搞合作化了，把土地收归国有。然后我们制定了土地管理法，制定了宪法，城市土地国家所有，农村土地集体所有，没有1寸土地是个人所有的。所以收归的时候，我们没有付任何的补偿费，没有向农民收购，免费获得土地。但是在我们11届三中全会以后，改革开放了，我们土地进行了有偿流转， 我们把土地作为一个资源，向开发商、企业进行转让。在发达地区的土地1000万一亩、2000万一亩，所以政府的一块的收入是税收，第二块收入是收费，第三块收入是土地财政，卖矿山土地资源。所以它土地卖得越多，规划容积率搞得越高，政府口袋里钱就越多，公款消费3500多万的公务员就有钱来进行消费。所以在这样的环境下面，买卖合同当中，政府是销售的一方，而企业和购房户，我们的公民是一个买的一方，那么它是利益相关方。那么它既然是运动员，就不应该作为裁判员。所以我们在市场化改革过程当中，我们就提出了一个司法独立的要求，就是需要在政府和公民之间、政府和企业之间需要一个独立的裁判。这个裁判是谁？就是法院。但是中国的法院现在是不独立的。中国的法院不但跟政府不平级，是政府下面的公安局、政府下面的财政局可以直接控制中国的法院。不给你法院拨款，你法院就没有工资，你法院就没法造大楼。然后在政法委里面，公安局长是书记，法院院长是委员。在这样的环境里面，所以政府高于法院，政府下面的公安局也高于法院。在这样的情况下，当政府和老百姓、政府和企业发生纠纷的时候，法院没办法作为一个超脱的裁判来进行诉讼、来进行裁决。1990年，中国制定了行政诉讼法，然后我们制定了行政复议法、行政处罚法、行政许可法。在制定那么多法律的情况下面，我们有了农民高县长，但是这10几年，我们的行政诉讼萎缩，很多的司法审判没办法得到公正的判决结果，在拆迁问题上面，在征用问题上面，在补偿问题上面，这方面问题都非常多。行政诉讼老百姓的胜诉率只有28%，这100个案子里面28个能够老百姓胜，大量的是老百姓败诉和协调掉的。所以这里大家就可以看得出来，就在中国，就政府和法院的关系，如果要真正要变成一个法治健全的国家的关系，必须要进行司法改革，要强调司法的独立。谢谢大家。
Thank you very much for a very lively and vigorous lecture. We now have 3 panelists who are going to comment on what has just been said in the 2 lectures you've had, and may want to throw in some additional points as well. So I will now invite them to talk very briefly to the topic of legal reform, starting with Professor Jacques Delisle.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have heard comments from 2 people whom I've long respected and whose work I've long enjoyed, and had the chance to meet Professor Huifang recently. It's good to see him again here. I feel somewhat intimidated being on this panel. And on the earlier panels this morning, I could at least claim to be a token American and therefore know what the American perspective thinks here. But on this panel, I do not know nearly as much about Chinese law, even though I spend a lot of time on it, but not nearly as much as my colleagues do. So let me do what American specialists or foreign specialists in Chinese law do, which is talk shallowly and in a big picture way, and set in context maybe some of the remarks that were made. What you've heard in both of these presentations, I think, is a penetrating analysis of some of the problems or barriers or challenges facing a rule of law and legal reform in China, particularly issues of judicial quality and judicial independence, political interference. And I just want to, for people in the audience who may not be lawyers and may not watch Chinese law terribly closely, to give a somewhat more comprehensive catalog of the issues that analysts in China and outside China point to that would supplement the problems you've heard from Professor He and Professor Chen. And maybe ask them how they would rate the relative severity of these problems first. And secondly, if one were to prescribe reforms, which are most important to undertake and which are most feasible to undertake, which are not quite the same question. So if you look at the list, you've heard about some of them, but let me put in some others. One is the question of judicial corruption, the question of simple payments to judges or exercise of personal influence that can affect what courts do. Another that you've heard some about from Professor He is the question of the quality, particularly the legal quality of judges and other personnel. Thirdly, what is often called the question of local protectionism, 地方保护主义. And there was some flavor of that in what Professor Chen was talking about, but it's a more general problem, particularly of what people would describe as this iron triangle or quadrangle of enterprises that are closely linked to the local government in terms of economic interest and political connection, and the dependence of courts for budgets, which Professor He mentioned, and for appointment on the party and state structure at the local level. Next, the question of political or policy interference in the handling of cases and judicial decision-making. You've heard about that as well, but it comes in many forms. It comes in the structural form of party membership and party appointment or vetting, at least vetting of judges. It comes through the 审判委员会, the adjudication committee, and it comes through just the oversight given the political structure. The emerging question, which Professor Chen got into some, of a more familiar problem for rule of law to Westerners. That is, people who are socially or economically powerful, and in China there's often a political component to that, but who are parties who have an advantage. There was a mention of Orwell earlier, you know, all animals are equal, but some are more equal than others. There is this new kind of power that can affect the fairness of the legal process. And finally, perhaps as a consequence of this, the question of decline in popular confidence in the courts. There's some wonderful social science studies in China that suggest that people initially have had extremely high expectations of courts and law and what it can do for them, and that disappointment has been rising. So that's a long list of problems, and if any of my colleagues would like to comment on how they would assign weight to those and how they would approach tackling them and sequencing, I think that would be important. Do I have a minute or two left?
2 minutes.
2 minutes, okay, great. Then let me try to add something that's a little less conventional perhaps on the list as further food for thought. As an outside observer, and for many Chinese observers as well, one of the most striking features of the legal system and the role of law in China today is how profoundly uneven it is across many dimensions. Coastal and inland, higher and lower court, economic cases that are between relatively small parties versus cases with a big state component, criminal cases that are politically charged, cases taken by renqian lyshi, all these kinds of areas where we see diversity. And some of it is idiosyncratic. There are some provincial and sub-provincial leaders who care more about law than others. There are some ministries that do more than others. So we have this very uneven patchwork. And I would like to ask, is that a good thing? We can build from the strong points, or is it deeply corrosive of the process of building law to have so much unevenness? Does it promote cynicism? Finally, one thing I would like to suggest is that what I would put on the list of major threats to building a 真的法治的国家，不是社会主义法治的国家，这是真正法治的国家, is the problem that law faces a risk, and courts even more than law face a risk, of declining market share in how much they matter to what goes on in China. So if you look at things like sanctioning that is done through a laojiao rather than criminal process, the detention system, which was the focus of the Zhejiang case and has been improved but not perfectly fixed, the re-emphasis on mediation and Ma Xiwu style of judging, Wang Shengjun and the idea of the three supremes, so that courts should look to public opinion and policy and not just law.
三个之上，三个之上。
And the broad problem of what we would call in America access to justice, the ability to get into the legal process, whether it is because courts are expensive, lawyers are hard to find and are intimidated, or you can't bring a class action suit, all of these kinds of things that shrink law's ability to reach. Then if I might say just one more thing, in some sense, that's been okay at least up to a point, the story I've been telling about law's limited market share. But does it start to become more of a problem? So one of the happy stories about law, at least from my perspective over the last 30 years, has been that law does a lot of work in China, but it does a lot of it informally. It does it by signaling policy commitments. It does it by giving people who have grievances against public or private wrongs against them a way to complain politically, a way to seek redress, but often not through formal judicial process or formal enforcement of law. And if you look at the most celebrated cases of attempts to push legal rights in recent years in China, they all have this quality. Sun Zhigang, Qi Yuling, given the withdrawal of the Supreme People's Court reply, even Nanfang Zhuomo, and certainly the anti-corruption drives and the Deng Yuxiao, all of these cases are cases where people made perfect, and the nail houses, the Ding Zihu as well, people would invoke important legal norms and important legal rights. But the solution ultimately was political and discretionary. It did not create institutionalized precedents and robust institutional means of enforcement. And that, at least from an outsider's perspective, is a particular area to watch and an area of concern. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Moving right along and rapidly, Professor Yu Zhenrong is now going to make a few comments.
本来啊没有安排今天下午的这个演讲，刚才那个教授叫我讲10分钟。我是1984年开始从事律师的，但我不是学法律的，因为我是学哲学的。当时为什么要我从事律师？就是由于我们那个地方啊，需要一个大学本科生去做律师。我做了10年。 但是到了94年，我再也不愿意做律师了。为什么？我发现我的一个工作，一个重要的工作，就是去想一切办法去搞定那个审判长，所以我感到这个事情很痛苦。所以我开始从事这个研究这种痛苦的来源。陈律师他是天天搞定审判长的人啊。我发现了一个问题。 通过这将近20年的研究，我发现了一个问题。我认为中国今天司法最大的问题，就是我昨天所说的，实际上是2个方面。第一个方面就是政治对司法的控制，因为中国是一个讲政治的国家。实际上，你们今天最近看到了中国很多媒体说某某人有作风问题，实际上作风问题并不害怕，最怕的是政治问题。 而中国今天有2个政治是不能动摇的，一个是所谓发展的政治，发展压倒一切的政治，现在是一个稳定压倒一切的政治。所以这10多年来，中国为了发展，为了稳定，实际上司法只能服务于这2点。所以在这个情况下，司法不但不能存在独立，而且司法的公平公正，实际上是本身就是很难做到的。第2个问题是我今天想重点要讲的问题，实际上司法地方化这个问题的越来越明显。我们都知道，中国的法院和检察院，它的乌纱帽来源于党委，所以有书记管教帽子，市长管教票子，你的经费来源于政府，而政法委管教案子。 所以，中国司法地方化到底是怎么发生的？实际上，你假如去研究的话，你会发现它很有意思的。刚才陈律师讲了一个问题，他办了一个案子。实际上，他刚才办的那个案子说明一个问题，就是说，一旦你法院你要判这个某一个案件的时候，可能市长也会告诉你，这个案子你不能判。 市委书记也会告诉你，你这个案子判对我们稳定大学有影响，所以你又必须改变。刚才我们那个美国的教授讲了一个问题，所谓劳教的问题。 是劳教的问题，是我最近几年一直批评的问题。我认为就是司法地方法最重要的一个手段。我们之所以批评劳教，最关键问题就是它不经过法院判决，由地方政府单方面的可以长时间的控制人身自由。那么你们想象一下，地方政府为什么要长时间去控制人身自由呢？实际上这个问题属于司法的地方法非常明确的关系。实际上中国的司法研究、法治研究，因为我从改行从做律师到一个研究人员的时候，我就感觉到我们对这种司法地方法这个实证的研究实际上是十分缺失的。实际上你们在这里学习的人，你们可以做一个非常重要的课题，回去看一看中国司法地方法是怎么运作的。实际上今天中国的很多司法问题，为什么你必须劳教之后法院是不能接受你的案件的？法官非常明确的会告诉你，这是上面规定不允许接受你的案件的。所以实际上你就会发现，在中国讲司法独立，首先要解决的问题，实际上首先就要解决司法地方法。所以我曾经和霍伟芳教授，我们在一个很隐蔽的地方开了几天会，在一个柬埔寨开了几天会。我们当时达成了一些共识，我们的共识就在于，中国真正的改革应该在法院和中级法院和基层法院的人财物先要脱离地方党政，法官要实行责任追究，法官要实行高薪，而且当时霍伟芳教授提出来要建晨会法庭。这几点我认为是中国司法改革的一个先做的一个关键，但这并不意味着司法通过地方法的改变，它就达到了司法独立。司法最终的独立就来源于整个国家对政党政治对司法的控制的减弱。所以我认为未来中国的司法改革的起步的点，我认为就应该从这里开始。没有这一点，我们所谓的司法内部的管理的改革实际上是很难达到效果的。谢谢各位。
Our final comment is from one of my colleagues, Jan Klein-Heisterkamp. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Even more than Professor Delisle, I guess I am an outside observer in all of this. I actually have not really studied Chinese law. I only had the pleasure of going to Beijing twice so far to teach high government officials on the relationship between public policy and the law in a joint program between Peking University and LSE. And in that context, I first had to understand myself first how legal thinking was perceived, especially by government officials in China. The reason being because I was asked to lecture primarily about my specialties, which is international commerce. And talking partially on issues as already also Professor Chen has addressed, but from an international perspective, I made some, I think, for me, revealing observations. First of all, when I was talking about international commercial law from the commercial side, meaning the private contracting side, the reaction of the government officials was, why do we have to listen to this? This is something our lawyers do, as if it were of no political interest whatsoever. My attempts to explain to them that they might want to be sure that they partially understand what they are signing in terms of contracts with foreign investors, with foreign partners and public-private partnerships is relevant, was not so very successful. What was much more successful was talking about a series of international treaties that China has entered into, which guarantee foreign investors certain protection standards, protection against regulatory intervention. Those are treaties, bilateral investment treaties, that China has signed in a great number with numerous countries. And there the government officials were very rapidly very interested because they thought primarily of their state-owned enterprises investing massively abroad. Issues like, for example, what happens with our investments in Libya after Gaddafi fell? Can we get some kind of redress? Do we have a better bargaining token thanks to international law? That was highly interesting to them. When I kept on talking about the topic, explaining that also these treaties would provide investors in China, foreign investors in China, with the possibility of questioning, of asking for review of government decisions which affect business. And we just have to think about the case that Professor Chen mentioned, the mussels case. Just imagine the businessman had been German, like me. The whole thing would have been profoundly different. Not only because maybe he would be treated differently, and we talked about the unevenness of the system, but also because he can recur to laws, international law, he can directly invoke international law to protect himself, and he can ask not Chinese courts to help him, but an international tribunal to give him his right. So what we're seeing is also an influence through globalization on the reform of law in China, because ultimately Chinese government decisions and regulatory acts might be subject to judicial review according to Western standards in the sense of, we talked about globalized law reform, we talk about the emergence of a global administrative law, but those are certainly not standards which could fit in any kind of category of socialist rule of law. And I think that is an element to bear in mind. Ultimately, the foreign element, the foreigners investing in China, will increasingly invoke these rights under international law and thereby force to rethink the way that the role that law actually plays also in business relationships and in regulatory relationships between privates and the government. So there might be an influence from globalization in which China is playing such a huge role through commitments that the Chinese government itself has undertaken by signing up to investment treaties,